Okay, so this will be a brief overview of our influences. So the things that we were looking for was mainly things that supported our wish to have a dark comedy, absurd theatre, with underlying tones of mental health. I think from the start, that's what we were really going for, was this idea of mental illness. But we didn't really want to be bogged down with these sort of feelings ourselves, so we wanted to kind of keep it fun and fresh and bring those sort of dark comedy and absurd elements in, mainly because we think the audience will be more aware of what's going on stage rather than kind of reading too deeply into the underlying themes. So I think our biggest influence for that, and especially the sort of underlying themes idea, is Samuel Beckett, and especially Waiting for Godot and Endgame, this sort of nonsensical dialogue, but underneath there's that sort of theme of, waiting for the end, especially in Endgame, the characters, they're waiting for their end, and Waiting for Godot, they're waiting for this sort of this person to show up, and it gets to the end where they want to leave to go commit suicide, but they can't. So it's sort of this, what does it mean underneath this sort of all this sort of weird chat that the characters have on stage? What does it mean? I think that's what we were trying to achieve with our influences here and what we were going for. I think a lot of our comedy comes from like Peep Show. I definitely think like the dynamic between the two characters is definitely reminiscent of Ollie and Jake's characters, Tyler and Simon, because sort of the idea of two polar opposites living with each other, I think, lends itself to comedic moments anyway. So I think our comedy comes naturally from that. There's some other little influences that we had, Love Song and Rules for Living. I think Love Song was really good because of its sort of interactive stage set pieces, like the characters coming from underneath the bed and things like that. I think in our early stages we wanted Tyler to come from a wardrobe with a false back, kind of like, because obviously the character is in Harry's head, and we kind of wanted him to kind of creep out from somewhere in the house, but just to keep it more simple so we can focus on character development, we scrapped the idea, but it's still influenced in the way of sort of interacting with the set, as we still have the blanket of rubbish. So Rules for Living is a really good dark comedy about cognitive therapy. This idea of telling yourself or people telling you that you're fine. I think that really works for Harry and Simon, because Simon kind of represents that person who doesn't quite understand how to approach these situations. So I think we definitely got influence for Simon there.